Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the We Know Traders podcast over here on RHAP. Brand new day means brand new member of Traitors US Season 4 to talk about premiering January 8th, and we're well on the road to that journey getting here. But today we're going to take a walk on the beach, make our way to a villa, and talk about someone who is making their way here over from the Love Island franchise. And you already knew who we had to bring in to talk about this one half of the Love Island RHAP up over here on RHAP. My co-host for Traitors Canada coverage over here on RHAP. One half of the free agents, and overall great guy is Brian Patrick Scally with us here today. Scally, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing well. I'm very excited to be here. First of all, talking about this cast as a whole, talking about this person today, talking about so many of these things, and most importantly, here with you. So thank you for that, and just overall, very happy.
Of course, yeah, we're here to talk about Maura Higgins here today, who is from the Love Island UK franchise, but was the host of the After Sun over on Love Island US, which is the talk show that happens once a week, I believe, right?
Yep. Once a week,
that was famously, I believe, the Saturday episodes of the Daily Drops were After Sun, ran by Maura, who did end up taking a hiatus this past season, only to find out that she is coming here into the Traitors.
Yep. Maura, I would say, is like the Love Island contestant, like period. You know, Love Island USA, near and dear to my heart. I love it so much, but started with Love Island UK. And even though she didn't come around till the 5th season, Maura has surpassed all and any. So I'm so happy.
So as things are with many shows, the UK show was the main. Love Island UK was the first Love Island that has now sprouted many Love Islands across many lands. Am I right in saying that UK was the first, or did they take it from somebody else?
99% sure that is the case. I mean, it doesn't have a Love Island UK tag at the end. It is just Love Island. So I believe it is the first. I think that it is at least the first English-speaking iteration. Okay, yeah, the first at overall. So it is like just huge. Only recently have the numbers fallen a little bit to the Traitors UK, which is now the most popular reality show over in the UK. But for a really long time, the Love Island was that girl. It was that show. And if anyone really like helped that become the case, Maura was definitely one of them.
Yeah, and I feel like the success that Love Island UK experienced, both as far as the show goes and the celebrity status that a lot of its alum end up achieving, it starts sparking other franchises. And, you know, we have become very familiar with the US format here. But I recall to me, still my favorite Love Island scene that I've watched was a UK season. It was Ekin-Su's season. But that was my first season that I watched, meaning I am not familiar with Maura as far as a contestant goes. So I'm very intrigued to find out exactly why I'm being told she is the representation we need for Love Island here.
Oh my god. Well, if you love Ekin-Su, let me tell you, like Maura's I don't want to say like the template. They're not the same character, but like she's
Same
gonna
energy.
yell. Yeah, like she's gonna have energy. Like here
Of that.
probably, but like on Love Island, like definitely. So she is very opinionated, is not one to like be quiet just to stay in a game or on a show. Like maybe on Traitors, we haven't seen her play like a social strategy, but like she did stuff that could have gotten her eliminated on Love Island because that's Maura. You know, she's not changing.
Yeah, okay, so that's interesting to me. The only other thing I know of Maura is that we have seen now a little trailer, no, not even a trailer. It was a little video that was put out there that was what would your strategy be coming in? And I don't remember exactly what Maura says, but it was so shady. And she is so ready to be a traitor that I need her to be a traitor. I'm sorry. I was familiar with Maura, the basically talk show host, where you're going to be cordial with everybody and maybe a little tongue in cheek at times. But for the most part, you're going to be like cordial. Sounds like I'm looking at someone who can do that, but can do many other things.
She has sides. She can be professional. And so I think the fact that when you describe Maura, you come up with like cordial and like nice, like that shows you Maura can put on a face if she needs to. And I not to say that she can't be, like she's super welcoming and
Right.
like warm towards the people that she likes in the villa. But if she does not like you, she will tell you straight out. And the thing is, on Love Island US hosting the After Sun, she did have people that she did not like that she would have to talk to. She would talk about how she did not like them, whether it be in interviews, on social media, on the After Sun when they weren't actually there. But then when having to deal with them, like was still able to obviously complete her job.
Yeah. So, I mean, we know firsthand that being the host of a show, whether it's talk, podcast, you have to be a level of friendly, a level of approachable. You're gonna have to be a way where people are willing and wanting to talk to you. Because if it's a hostile environment, they are not going to show up. They're not going to want to do that. So I think that is a skill that can be learned if not already had. So sounds like she has that, and sounds like she can also be shady, which I think people usually mistake shady for just you're going to be shady for shady's sake. All I'm hearing is Maura's not going to back down if someone's being like a dick.
No, not at all. She'll call you out immediately. I mean,
Good.
to get to like one of the highlights of her career on Love Island.
Mhm.
So, Love Island, for those unfamiliar, is a show where you have to couple up with someone in order to stay. And if you are not with someone, you will go home. There's also a concept of the hideaway, in which you will get a night away from everyone else, some privacy. You might hook up, who knows? And so,
Maybe.
Maura, after a while, is talking to someone. They're going to go to the hideaway. And again, Maura, known to be a little bit of opinionated, gonna be loud, gonna be, talking. And so, as the guy she is talking to, who's generally been a mild mannered guy, is kind of, being a boy with the other boys, getting into maybe a little bit of boys will be boys talk, basically says, yeah, we'll see if she's all mouth in the hideaway. And Maura overhears this and says, what the fuck did you just say to me? And it says, absolutely not. We're not going to the hideaway. We're never speaking again. Don't even try it. Like, breaks it off. She's
Ooh.
willing to go home. Yeah, she's like, oh, you think you're cool in front of your friends? No, we're never speaking again. Good luck.
Damn. Okay. I'm standing. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you. I'm very here for this.
Yeah, it is he's like, I don't know why I said it. I'm stupid. And she's just like, yeah, you are stupid. You were right. Now you're speaking sense. Like, she is just yelling at him in front. Like, the other women are like snapping in the background. Like, everyone is living for this. The boys are clowning on him. It is one of my favorite scenes in Love Island. And like I said, like, she will always put like how she feels and like not to be disrespected first,
Mhm.
as far as we've seen so far.
Good. Stand up for yourself, know your worth, and when there is someone who is unsavory in front of you, put them in their place. Why not?
Uh-huh. And so, she does end up recovering, stays around for a little bit longer on Love Island.
Okay.
Super, super popular contestant. Like I said, like, she's one of the Love Island contestants. They don't just hire Love Island contestants to come host other franchises. That doesn't happen. So obviously very popular, and a very fun personality overall. She's not just all, fights and opinions. She's also very funny when you say, she is going to speak her mind. That also comes to the place of like, she's going to drop jokes. She's very personable. She's going to do well.
Okay, so we're saying she's going to do well. She did that first season. Was that her only season as a contestant that she was
Yeah.
on?
So she has not gone back for Love Island. She has been a presenter for like part of Love Island Games, part of Love Island US, and she has done, random like Dancing on Ice, Cooking with the Stars, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, all like with varying success. But she does not need to go back on Love Island as a contestant in this point in her career.
Okay. Yeah, she did I'm a Celebrity quite recently, last year.
Yeah, and she was fairly popular. Obviously, she has like a friendly relationship with some of the other contestants that like people found endearing. So, Maura, she could win over an audience and her
Amazing.
fellow contestants.
Well, speaking of fellow contestants, Scally, let's look at this cast and see where we think Maura lies in all of this. I guess my first question to you is, do you predict her to be a traitor or a faithful?
I think we're probably getting a faithful. I think that the Traitors would do well to pick someone like Amora as a traitor. I think that she is someone who like very clearly actively wants it, could be very good at putting that mask on. But I think if I were to guess, I think they cast her here to like get into arguments and be a little bit indignant when she thinks she's right as a faithful.
Yeah, I feel like the energy I got from her in that little preview, not preview, but video, I felt okay, she's gonna come in demanding the spot. If they know what they're doing, they put her in there because I genuinely do want to see her in there. But I also do think we're probably going to get Faithful Mora here, um, going forward at least a little bit. Which then I feel like if you have that energy, that like nefarious, I'm here to be a traitor energy, sometimes that still remains in your Faithful game, and you could get sussed moving down the line at the round tables. Now, who do you see? Well, actually, let's address the first and one connection I am aware of. We are from the same show of it all with her and Rob Roush. Now, she was also the host of the After Sun for Rob's season, his season where he was a main cast member. Um, Now, admittedly, I may not have watched these After Suns.
Ooh.
So if Rob did make an appearance on the After Sun, how did that go?
I think it's the type of thing where, like I'm saying, Maura can like have personal favorites on the cast, and I would not say that Rob was like her personal like, oh, this is going to be my bestie when we get out of here. Like I'm rooting for Rob. Like I don't think that's the case,
Mhm.
but I think that she can recognize entertainment value. I think that she can then also like, even though you're not my favorite person, like I'm going to like have this conversation. We'll be fine. I would say, I don't think Mora is like coming here excited to see Rob Roush, but will probably use that connection if possible.
Okay. Who else do you see Mora working with here or being able to connect with here?
It's interesting. So Mora is one of the youngest contestants on the season at 34. There's really only like a couple of others. So I can see her like vibing in with that group. I'm looking at like other fun contestants. I think Mora does like to like queen out a little bit with the other girls. So I can see like Mora and Natalie Anderson connecting very well. I can see Mora connecting very well with Monet Exchange. But I
Mhm.
think that I'm looking at also like maybe Jam Jam. So I think that Mora not going to have a difficult time finding like people to connect with. I am only worried about like just her being younger, maybe putting her outside of things or being from like a different show than most people.
Yeah. Well, you have watched more on Love Island. You have watched many a Love Island, so you know how these Love Islanders move. And you have watched and interacted many a times with one Rob Sesternino. How do you see Mora and Rob C interacting?
I'm very curious to see Mora and Rob. I feel like Rob probably doesn't know a ton about Mora. I think that he's going to go in and he's going to be like perfectly pleasant, and Mora might come at him with like a lot of energy that he's not going to know how to respond to. Like immediately, I think that it will be just fine. I don't know if it's like an initial connection that I see, but I could see them like taking a liking to each other as like Rob can appreciate someone that speaks their minds. I think Mora can appreciate humor. So I can see this growing, but I don't see it as like they walk into the like manor and it immediately like lock eyes and they're locked in final two.
Yeah. Well, who do you see? What personalities do you see clashing with Mora here?
I could see Mora not loving a housewife potentially. I think that she like would have a little bit of reverence. I don't know Mora's like housewife watching history to be honest. So
Mhm.
like if she does, I can see her like having reverence, sure. But if there's a housewife who comes in and is like I'm the star of this show. Like Mora's not going to treat them as such. She is going to very much like, oh, who are you to think that you like should get special treatment here? Like, no, like you're another person just like me. Absolutely not. Like, and like more so, I even see her like standing up for everyone else against like if a housewife thinks they deserve better treatment.
Interesting. Yeah, and this is going to be a very interesting season for the Housewives because they are coming in after having lost everybody last year, like pretty badly early on. So I feel like my prediction is one of them can and will end up in the turret. So then that makes me a little bit worried for Mora if she does step to a housewife or two.
Yeah, especially because I don't think a housewife is going to be like necessarily jumping to like kill Maura because people think we have conflict. It's like, well, I don't like her, so let's just get rid of her.
Right.
So a little bit concerning there. I could see her, maybe I'm still working on my housewives, so forgive me, but from the vibes I know, like I could see maybe her and Dorinda not loving each other eventually, but at the same time, that could just like click and go phenomenally.
I feel like as long as the masks stay on at the beginning, you should be
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm intrigued about Mora. I feel like, to me, again, now I've said this already, but I'll say it again. Now that I've seen a little bit of her, I want her to be a traitor so bad. I feel like she would excel in that role quite well. So if they do go that route, I would love it. We have yet to have a Love Islander in the turret. Um, so that intrigues me a lot. And I think this is a good cast where I hadn't clocked in that she is the younger or youngest of the group. So I think that
just
could be,
almost, yeah.
yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's not, this isn't like the Big Brother house where like the youngest person is like 20. Like being the young person at like 34, I think you're going to be, I don't think it's going to be
Yeah.
too bad.
I actually think that this cast is it younger than last year? It feels younger. I don't know if that's the case, but there's a lot of like mid, late 30s, like early 40s, mid 40s. So I don't think it's like so far out of range for her to be fine. But it was worth flagging. Obviously, with Love Island, she's working with like 22-year-olds half the time. So not that,
Right.
but she's done so much like just appearances, work in like the media space that I have no worries of her being able to connect.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at well, Rob Roush is actually the youngest person in this house
Yes,
or this
Rob
cast at
Roush.
26.
Little nervous for that guy. I don't know. I think that could rub some people the wrong way. He's a little aloof, and or like I
Mhm.
don't think he's likely to be a traitor. So I think more. I'm betting on her to outlast Rob Roush for sure.
Yeah, I mean Rob Roush I feel like could go one of two ways to me. Either he does peter out early or he charms his way into some people and
Yeah,
then has safety because he's definitely capable of that. So I'm looking at the cast from last year versus the cast from this year. This cast has 3 people 60 and older. Last season there was only one, and that was
interesting.
Lord Ivar. Although I will say Dorinda was 59 and now is 60. So and then
Yeah,
Bob Harper's 58. So that doesn't, it's not all that. We had Sierra Miller as our 28-year-old last time. And then Sam Asghari was 30, Dylan Efron 32, Gabby 33, Brittany Haynes 36. So then I feel like this cast is definitely older, I think.
is it? Yeah, I think it's more. I just am seeing a lot of people in the 30s, and maybe that's just who I'm focusing on, thinking like these are all more as besties.
Mhm.
Because I am also looking like, okay, yeah, Donna Kelsey, 72, but I don't think she'll have a problem like connecting anyway.
No, like for to put it into perspective, Rob is the 6th oldest contestant on this cast. Rob Cesternino is.
Wild.
And yeah, which that's what I mean. And I feel like she can get on with Rob. Like they'll like like they have the similar interests. I feel like that's gonna be fine. That's why I think like that age is not that bad. I think really what you're looking for is like if you're too young or too old, that's kind of the problem. If you're in the middle, you're gonna be all right.
And I think that like she has the sense of humor. She's not going to take herself way too seriously. Like I said, I think she's going to be standing up more for like people in general rather than like
Mhm.
having. I don't think she's going to come in here like as a diva. I think it is going to be
Right.
like, okay, I'll stand up for myself. I'm very curious to see for like good luck to the first person to accuse Maura at the round table because I don't think it's going to go particularly well. I think she will not let up, and so like maybe only if she like, over argues is that going to be an issue, but
Mhm.
I think she's going to defend herself quite well, and I'm excited. And I'm like, honestly, hopefully, I see it at some point.
So she is now officially our second Love Islander from the UK franchise to make it onto the Traitors Castle. Scally, if you had to pick one
Oh
person
my
to be the
god,
next nominee to be in this lovely, luxurious group,
that is
what are you looking at?
so impossibly hard. I am
Good.
famously just like absolutely terrible when put on the spot. Um, I am going to. It's tough because also like you want as big of a name as possible, but I'm gonna go for someone like very, very dramatic. And give me Katie McDermott from seasons 2 and 10. I like mess.
Okay.
I like mess,
I
so you
feel
can
like this
tell.
has been advertised. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's from a season I have just talked about having seen, but we've already had Ekansu. Davide would be great also. Speaking of mess, you want mess? That guy will deliver mess. He'll yell at somebody. Like that'll
He
happen.
will definitely yell at somebody. Davide would be a very interesting casting choice. I feel like putting him on with Ekansu would have been even more interesting. But like, bring her
Mhm.
back, whatever. But yeah, Davide willing to fight for sure. He's going to like try to charm his way, and then we'll just tell everyone who he doesn't like that he does not like them, and that will be how
Yeah.
it goes.
All right. Well, Scally, Rob Roush is now officially our second Islander from Love Island USA to be in the castle. If you had to pick the next person from Love Island USA to be on the Traitors, who would that be?
Ooh, that's really tough. I think that honestly, it really shocks me that there's not more Love Island 6 representation here other
Yes.
than Rob Roush. You know, I
Mhm.
really thought that they had clearly shown a ton of interest in wanting this cast back on TV, having Beyond the Villa start with that season. So I'm thinking really like any member of PPG could be a good pick. I think I would go with Serena if I were to have to pick one. I think if you brought like Serena and Cordell as a duo, that would be really fun. But
Mhm.
Serena is like very funny, but also very outspoken, and I think would be very good at very good faithful. Like when accused, is going to defend herself quite well, but then also like will be able to like be funny in confessionals.
Mhm. Yeah, this season marks the end to the Persian streak that I had with Reza season 1, MJ season 2, and then Sam Asghari season 3. So give me Leah. Put Leah
Yeah.
back in at that point. You know, that would be perfect. I would be very happy with that. But I don't disagree with your picks. I think season 6, we've not seen the last of them on the Traders, genuinely.
You,
And
you,
I think
you
season
could not.
7 has already also got a couple in the locker also.
Leah would be so fun, and especially like to see Leah like I think if she was picked as a traitor would stress out. If she was not picked as a traitor and someone accused her would stress out. So Leah would be super fun. And I think, you know, unnamed, but Janae also phenomenal, so bubbly, so funny that I think that she could be really good on the show. It's like they have
Mhm.
such a they're so spoiled for choices out of Love Island.
They really are. And I feel like we are the sad reality is for the US franchise at this point is that the Love Island franchise has not been standout in it. You know what I mean? Like the Bachelor franchise has been a standout. Gabby stood out last season. Pilot Pete became like the traitor, the faithful detective of season 2. So I feel like Love Island just needs to show, hey, this is why you're casting us, and then boom, we're gonna have a couple more of them in here because I do think that they should. I mean, to be frank though, 2 is still not a bad amount, but it could be 3.
Could be. It could
Yeah.
be. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset, especially like this is a Peacock like show. This is a NBC Universal Peacock production. So I am almost surprised that they don't lean more heavily on some of like their own casting. But I think, you know, just get the right person on. You've seen who can produce drama and who can't. And like who's funny, who's
Mhm.
potentially a good liar and manipulator. So like bring them here. Why are they not here?
Yeah. Yeah, and credit where credit's due to them. I will say they do a good job of picking the right people from the right franchises. So I feel like I'm very, very happy with that so far. But I almost want to see more people. But that's just as long as the seasons keep coming, we'll get to see them, Scally. It'll be fine.
Yep. And as much as I'm saying like bring more people, if I had to pick two and you told me like, okay, it's Rob Roush and Maura Higgins, like that is really, really good choices. So I'm not complaining at all. Like I said, like some of the people to bring here.
Yeah. Well, Scally, this was an absolute delight getting to talk to you about all this. If the people would like to hear you during the season or otherwise, what are you up to? What things can they look out for?
People can find me and Matt Lagori talking about a whole bunch of topics, including the Traitors, the challenge, etc., over on the Free Agents podcast. So go check that out. Also, anything else I'm doing, posting like on Twitter, Brian_Scally, on Blue Sky, Brian Scally. I'll talk on Twitch. Go find me. I'll be there.
Perfect. Of course, y'all can find me on all socials at Pooyaism, twitch.tv/Pooya. That's where I am when I'm not podcasting. I am going to be covering this season. Of course, you're going to hear a lot from me for Traitors US. So if you're not already subscribed, please do so. And also, I will be talking Traitors UK. That's going to be premiering January 1st. So double duty for me in January on this very feed. And Scally and I would have just wrapped up, just about a couple weeks in now, have wrapped up the Traitors Canada season 3. It's been a very fun season. So if you're looking for something to watch to both get hyped for the Traitors coming in January, and also you got some free time during the holidays, it's 10 episodes and it is an easy recommend from us. It's been a very fun journey, a very chaotic cast, and we've got a lot of podcasts for you to check out if you're interested. So make sure you tune in for those. And of course, find me over on the lounge talking with Liana every week over on the Pooya and Liana Lounge. And 90 Day Fiance, brand new season before the 90 days, my favorite of the franchises, has begun. So you'll get all that coverage there. Also, take care, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about a whole other cast member. But till then, take care. Have a good one.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.